Next one on the list, Brad. We have Denver +4. Denver, who gave up a 20-point lead at the half to Minnesota last week. Denver plus. I know that drove you crazy because you could have used another Minnesota loss since you're a Green Bay fan. Denver +4 at Buffalo, who housed Miami last week.
Oh, Buffalo for sure, man.
You like
Buffalo
Buffalo?
for sure. Yeah, I do. You know why? Because I think that this was like the final deflating nut kick to Denver, like up 20-0, right? And then they
Yeah.
just give it up, and it's like, oh man, even when we're figuring it out, something terrible happens. And I think that's the season for them, man. I have this feeling like they might not even compete on a real level anymore from this point forward.
So, an interesting thought. My computers actually line up completely with Denver in this game, which I don't get.
Do they?
Yeah, and I disagree with it. I think it's Buffalo. I'm with you, so I'm taking Buffalo. Okay, let's talk about Denver first since we were talking about them. So I think their defense has been underrated all season. Frankly, when Denver went up, I think they were up 17-0. I know they got up 20-0. When they're up 17-0, I said game over. I don't think Minnesota against this defense is going to be able to score. I thought they were going to have too hard of a time. What ends up happening here, and this is, I think, a twofold problem. One of them is when you've been such a successful defensive coordinator for so long as head coach Fangio has in Denver, you get to a point where you're like, we're up 20, we're good. I don't need to worry about anything else. Let's play conservative. The other thing is, I'm not convinced that this Denver offensive coordinator, I believe his last name Scangrillo, something like that. He's kind of bounced around college and the pros. He's a Shanahan type guy. He spent some time in San Francisco recently with Kyle Shanahan. I don't think he's fit to the task to call plays. You have Brnadon Allen now starting at quarterback, kind of a green guy. I'm sorry, against Minnesota, you're starting a green quarterback. You're up 20 points. You need to run the damn ball. You need to run the ball. And if you're not going to run the ball, I know Minnesota, that's easier said than done. Involve your guys in the screen game. I think, I did a little kind of deep dive into this game in a reaction, trying to figure out what happened. And what's his face? Brnadon Allen had 39 targets, Brad. Phillip Lindsay had 3 of those targets. 3 of the 39 targets. That's not good enough. Royce Freeman had 1. So they're 2 very talented, probably the 2 best offensive players in their team, Royce Freeman and Phillip Lindsay. 4 targets in the passing game out of 39. Not good enough. Denver blew it. They went frankly, I just don't know what the hell they were doing. They should not have done it. The defense was good enough to do it. They needed to kill more clock. I know Minnesota's a tough defense, and that's easier said than done, but you need to do it. So I think that this team is okay, but I'm just not a fan of this offense, Brad, and we see it with Kyle Allen in Carolina. Brnadon Allen, I'm sorry, I'm not a buyer on him. I think he's a solid backup, maybe not even a solid backup. I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But now Buffalo, on the other hand, I wanted to see this team. Can they come out and can they score like 30 points? Because we know this defense is good. Can they actually score? Because they let down their defense last, I guess 2 weeks ago at this point against Cleveland. They should have won that game. Their defense played good enough to win, and Josh Allen at this point. We see what Lamar Jackson's doing. Josh Allen needs to be more like Lamar Jackson. Easier said than done.
Right.
But, they come out against Miami, and they handled Miami. It was like 37 points. That's what I wanted to see. I think Buffalo wins this game 20-12. I'm not going to say Buffalo's going to score out like crazy because I still think Denver's defense is okay and pretty good. But I don't see Denver's offense really being able to put up points. And more importantly, I don't see that Denver's coaching staff offensively can put up points against this Buffalo team. So I'm with you, Brad. I'm defying my computers. I'm going with Buffalo. Fantasy-wise, Lindsay and Freeman, I think, are both plays. I think Courtland Sutton would be a play as well. That's it for Denver. I know Noah Fant is coming on, but I don't trust him. He's too up and down. For Buffalo, Allen is actually not projected to be as a start, but I think you start him anyway just because he can run the ball. And he had a great game last week, so I think you can ride him, especially in daily fantasy. Let's see. Singletary is a yes. John Brown is a yes. I don't like anybody else there.